Morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. Thank you for joining me for another edition of the True Conductor Show. One day I'm gonna have bells and whistles and train horns and all of that stuff, man. It's coming. It's coming real soon. Um, Here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. Um, People have become very lazy. Lazy in the sense that they want a lot of stuff at face value. They don't want to have to do any research or do any digging. They want it laid right out in front of them. And when people know that that's how you are, then they'll give you just what you want. They doing it because they know that's what works with you. And see, the mistake that folk are making is they don't separate the good from the bad. They just lump everybody in together. They just lump all Democrats are evil, all conservatives, all liberals. Yeah, everybody got a label. Everybody got a label. But there's good and bad in everybody. And how come we can't get good people among everybody to come together with other good people rather than all this division and fighting and hatred and animosity? Where are the good people that's sitting on the sidelines watching because they don't think it affects them, but it does? One way or the other, it's going to affect you because ain't no place safe for you now. Really, no place is safe for you. Because everybody, I just saw where the Supreme Court is upholding him firing thousands of people. And I'm talking about it's gonna be a lot of folk that are gonna be hurting, ain't got nowhere to turn to. It's gonna be a lot of people, man. And we're gonna have to learn how to separate the good from the bad. Okay? We gotta separate the good from the bad. That is the problem. You got so many bad people that are falling under the umbrella of good people. Okay? What's going on? And that's the problem. That's what the problem is. Folk just don't want to take the time, man, to separate the two, to separate the good from the bad. And that's all we got to do. Now they will, they'll come to it. They'll come to it. They'll come to it. You see, and see, this is one of the things that I try to get people to understand, whether it's one person or 1,000. I'm still gonna give you the same energy, okay? Regardless to how many people is up in here, I'm still gonna give you the same energy, okay? Because it's coming from my heart. It ain't coming from my head. If it's coming from my head, see what I got 3 people up in here. I have been as high as 22. You see what I'm saying? So that don't the replay viewers are coming, and thank y'all very much for the replay views. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, and thank you for the ones that are here. Uh, but no, no, man, we gotta cut this. We gotta start separating the two, man. It's some work, and see, that's work. That's gonna involve work. That's what it's gonna involve. Some work, some commitment, some dedication. See, you can if you don't have all those things, some commitment, some dedication, it's no good. It's no good. It's absolutely no good. No good. So, and you got so many people that I see, and this is what I'm talking about, separating the good from the bad. You got some folk that they just want something for nothing. That don't make all people, put everybody in, is not in that category. But there are a sufficient amount of people that, and nothing is free, but if it appears to be free for them, they all in. That's all they care about. It's what's good for them. And yet their actions can taint a whole group of people. A whole group of people are tainted by somebody they don't even know. This is why we have to separate the good from the bad, man. Everybody ain't perfect. And there's good and bad in everybody. I mean, there's good and bad in everybody. I mean, everybody. Nobody is exempt. Nobody's exempt. But we don't want to look at it that way. We don't want to deal with it in those terms. We got to have it sugar coated to appear to be something that it really ain't. And what it all boils down to, most folk are just afraid to make a mistake. That's what it all boils down to. They're scared to make a mistake. But if you're afraid to make a mistake, how you gonna learn? How you gonna learn if you don't ever want to make a mistake? How you gonna learn? See, let me tell y'all some characteristics that you need to be aware of. See, when a person has an agenda, they don't have no patience. Let me say that again. That person that has an agenda ain't got a lot of patience. If something ain't working the way they think it should be working, they gone. They out. Bam, they out. They jumping ship. They jumping ship. But when you are consistent about what you do and what you're saying, and you know come hell high water, no water at all, you still going, this is my position. This is my position, and I stand by it. This is my position. Stop hating each other because you disagree. I stand by that. I stand by it. I don't have to second guess it. I don't have to wonder. I don't do anything. I stand by it. Whether or not you see the importance of it or won't pretend that you don't see is not my problem. That's not my problem. Because there'll come a time where, you know, our paths might not ever cross again, ever. So a lot of people take that for granted. A lot of people take that for granted. That our paths are gonna cross. No. Look at them people, you know, this whole mess down there in Texas. A lot of people just didn't want to listen. They did not heed the warning. Let me say that again. Okay, this thing down in Texas, this camp with all these, somebody did not heed the warning. And this is a Christian camp. You think God didn't tell somebody this ain't a good idea? You think God wasn't trying to tell somebody this ain't a good idea? And some they just didn't listen. They didn't listen. It's just that simple. Because had they listened and heeded the warning, it wouldn't have been there. They wouldn't have been there. I saw a woman, this woman was on television. She's standing in water up to her ankles. I'm like, oh, it's fine. I don't see any problems. And standing in water up to your ankles. And you talk about come on down. Let's celebrate. So that's my position on that, man. That could have been easily avoided if some people had just simply listened, heeded the warning, and they didn't. And it's a hell of a price. That's a hell of a price to pay. But then that's what disobedience will do. That's how I can't, I guess I refuse to believe that God did not try to send out warning after warning. Please don't do this. Don't go. And you didn't listen. And now you want to blame him because you didn't listen. So no, this is you know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. We got to separate the good from the bad. We got to separate the good from the bad. Got to. And I know that's work. I know that's time consuming, but it has to be done. If we are going to survive as a people, if we're going to survive, we're going to have to separate the good from the bad in everybody. Because that's what God is coming to do. God ain't coming back for everybody. Man, he gonna separate the wheat from the what's that? The tear. The tear. The tares from the wheat. He gonna separate the two. He ain't putting them all together. He ain't putting them all together. It's gonna be a separation. And you might as well start now, you know. You might as well. Why not? Why not? So don't be too quick to get caught up in see, and this is the problem. If you look at most of these politicians, they want you to make a decision out of your emotions. They don't want you to think about what is being done, but they want you to be so emotionally invested that you'll do whatever it takes. And there are people that are loved ones who are being deported, yet they're loyal to this administration, and their loved one is being deported. We're facing some serious, and they just open up the avenue now that you can be deported to a third world country. You think that ain't a life sentence? You think if they deport you that and you're gonna have the label criminal, to another country that they're gonna let you out among their population? It ain't happening. Um, well, they claim whoever is in this country to wanna to wanna be established. These are people that are established. They just some people just coming across the border ain't got no means, ain't got no connections, ain't got no stability. The people they talking about, man, them folk been here years. Years they've been here. They didn't just flop. No, man. They've been here for years. Been here for years. You don't know who's who. You really don't. You really don't know. Seriously. Now do I think some undesirables came across with these open? Absolutely. Absolutely. But see, here's the deal. Once again, separating the good from the bad. See that joker you know that's the crime element that don't know no other way but getting into stealing and robbing. That's all they're gonna gravitate to. But then there are others that come here, man. I mean, they see an opportunity. They want to work. See, they want to work, and if you really want to have an impact on immigration in America, then just cut off the flow of money that's being sent to these countries by relatives. Cut it off. Because that's a main reason getting over here, man, to get some money that they can send home. And for whatever reason, they got to tell you to get you to open up and let them in. That's what they're gonna do. But if you really want to have an impact on immigration, stop that cash flow going out to these different countries. Okay, cut it out. Now you taking away motivation. Now people ain't got no, they ain't got the motivation. What the hell I'm gonna be fighting trying to get to America when I can't, if I get there, I'm able to send this back home. I'm in the country illegally, but I can send that money back home. Well, B say the sad thing is the bad ones are screwing it up for the people who just want to work. But that look at Carnival Cruise. Look how a bunch of black folk went on this ship acting like some real niggas. And look how they didn't change they look how that's why we don't want to be around them. No way. Look how they acting. That's why you can't that's and you see that's what you're going and now you lumping everybody together. You ain't separating the good from the bad. And that's all I'm saying, man. Separate the good from the bad. Separate the good from the bad. They're good black people. There's some shitheads that you don't even want to be around. I mean, it's just that simple. Some good white people, and there's some shitheads that you just don't want to be around. It's just that simple. It's good and bad in everybody. So how come the good people can't come together? How come a good person can't recognize another good person? Why is that so difficult for you to recognize, man, that's a good person right there? We might not agree on everything, but that's a good person. See, why we don't see that no more? You know why? Why they don't? Why? Why we just jump to conclusions about, then you be wondering when you start, stretching your wings and want to be independent. Because let me tell you something, man, you ain't seen nothing yet when it's already chaotic with the firings that they have, and now that they can go through with it. Oh my God. Somebody ain't gonna be happy. Somebody ain't gonna be happy because it's getting ready to be and they getting ready to unleash some pain on some people. Okay, and some of these very people that are about to experience this pain. Some of them won't even speak to each other and getting ready to suffer the same fate, and might have each other's answer, but because of emotionalism, tribalism. Look at how you look at what you just setting yourself up to be destroyed. That's all. You just setting yourself up, and it's a shame, man. It's a shame that you know nobody's willing to come up and say, man, cut that crap out. Stop this. We better than this. We're better than this. And why not exemplify it? We're better than this. We really are. And just like anything else, man, sometimes it's painful, it's ugly, and it's uncomfortable, but it needs to happen, and we really need to just stop pussyfooting around with each other and just, this is the way it is. And if you don't like it, I mean, I'm sorry. But what you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. Yeah. What you see is what you get. And see, most of the time, what you see ain't what you getting. And then people wondering, well, what's because this is not what I bargained for. That was a great song. What you see is what you get. But what you see now, shit. By the time they get through peeling off all that makeup and weave and fake eyelashes and fake boobs, got these prop up bras, you know, and these spandex pants, and by the time you like, what the, where'd you come from? This ain't what I saw in the club. Where you come from? You know, you wake up and say, wait a minute. Where, what, where you come from? Damn. Yeah, boy. Yeah, they fake us all out and looking for a good man. Fake us all out, you know? Yeah. But no, man. See, and see, this is one of the things that people don't seem to realize. If what you put out is what you're gonna get back. If you putting out some negative, I don't care how much good you doing. If you putting out some negative energy, that's what you're gonna get back. That's exactly what you gonna get back. It's some negative energy. But see, a lot of y'all don't want to believe that. A lot of y'all don't want. Oh no, you don't think what goes around comes around. You don't believe that. You don't believe that because you haven't seen the evidence. Okay, what's going on, Daniel? See, you ain't seen the evidence of you reap what you sow. Because for so long, people been getting away with a whole bunch of crap. But look how much stuff is coming to the light now. Look how many what they thought was secrets. You think did he ever think that all that stuff would come out? I mean, you know how many people that case touch? Because if you fly somebody or pay for somebody's travel for sex, that's a felony. You know how many people that touch? You know how many entertainers and athletes and rich people that touch? That's flying folk. What they want for their pleasure. And it's now a felony. You think that didn't get nobody's attention? I mean, seriously, you think that didn't get nobody's attention? And whatever sentence that's handed down, that's setting the precedence, man. And that's what that's setting. That's the minimum that you can get. See, so no, man. But you have to separate the good from the bad. And he had the nerve to get down on his knees when they was reading the verdict. Shame on you, man. When you was freaking them girls and doing all that other dumb shit you was doing, you wasn't praying about that. And now when it come to saving your black ass, you want to get down on your knees, ask God for help. Some stuff that you know you was wrong at doing, and you want God to deliver you. Oh God, I paid my tithes. Yeah, I paid my tithes, Lord. I sure did. Yeah, sure. I paid my tithes, man. I was loyal. Yeah, loyal with my tithes and offering. So you gotta you gotta come through for me. you know, seriously. And some folk believe that because they pay their tithes and offering. that if they should come up against some adversity, that God to step in on their behalf. And I showed you in the first chapter of Proverbs. You know, okay, thank you, Lord. Let me share this with you, and I'm gonna equate it till today. Okay, here's a good example for today. All right, of what just happened. Listen to this. So long. This is Proverbs chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 22. How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? For scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn at my rebuke. God rebuking you, saying, man, don't, no, he's correcting you. Don't do this. Don't go there. Stay away from that. Surely I will pour out my spirit on you. I will make my words known to you. Because I have called and you refuse, I've stretched out my hand and no one regarded. Because you disdain all my counsel and would have none of my rebuke, I will laugh at your calamity. Well. What's the definition of calamity? Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this. Okay, calamity. An event causing great and often sudden damage or distress. A disaster. Okay? Listen. Verse 25. Because you disdain all my counsel and would have none of my rebuke, I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your terror comes. When your terror comes like a storm and your destruction comes like a whirlwind. When distress and anguish come upon you, then they will call upon me, but I will not answer. They will seek me diligently, but they will not find me. Because they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord, they would have none of my counsel and despise my every rebuke. Therefore, they shall eat the fruit of their own way and be filled to the full with their own fancies. You don't think that at that moment during that flood, man, there was some people calling on God? And when he said, wait a minute, I told you not to go. I told you not to go. And you went anyway. I tried to warn you. Man, I saw where one guy said he heard somebody calling for help, and it was a girl trapped in a tree. 20 miles, man, she 20 miles from where she felt the pain come, and she got stuck in a tree. 20 miles later, 20 miles. Think about that. And she gets stuck in a tree. And there were some people that don't go, stay away from that. Don't go there today. And just like everything else, they didn't listen. They didn't listen. It's just that simple. They didn't listen. And that was a Christian camp too. That's the crazy part. It was a Christian camp. Yeah, they got her. Yeah, they got her. But I'm just saying, you see, that there were listen, God answered some prayers that night. There were some people that prayed to God, and their prayers were answered. There were parents, man. Their prayers were answered. They were answered. But there are some parents, man, that in some cases, some loved ones, some adults didn't make it. You wouldn't listen. You took it for granted. It's just that simple. Ain't no way you can twist it, turn it, look at it. They took it for granted. And look what happened. Look what happened. They took it for granted. And sometimes that can cost you your life when you take things for granted. That's what it's showing you. It can cost you your life. All right. So like I told y'all, man, it's gonna come down to who you are as a person. That's what it's gonna boil down to. Who you are as a person. You either in the light or you in the dark. You can't be straddle the fence. You're one or the other. And you got so many people that are trying to straddle the fence. That's why they want you to know, oh, you believe in Jesus? They trying to figure you out. Somebody ask you that question, boy, should make the hairs on your neck rise. Cause uh, uh anyway, that's it though, okay? Separate the two, man. There's good and bad in everybody. Learn how to pick out the good folk. And you'll make them and learn from your mistakes. Don't judge everybody. It's good and bad in everybody. Let's try to get the good people to unite, to come together. See what happens. Okay? All right. See you later.